What's up everybody, this is Master Ian Gamer, and at long last, it looks like Overwatch is finally going to be getting an animated series. Now this information comes from the LinkedIn profile of Nick Van Dyke, co-president of Activision Blizzard Studios, who recently updated his LinkedIn profile to include some information regarding upcoming series. In his profile, he talks about some of his past work, including being the executive producer on Skylanders Academy, a TV adaptation of the Skylanders game and toy franchise, in addition to being the executive producer of a new Diablo anime series, which is coming to Netflix, along with a Call of Duty cinematic and television universe. But the thing I think we're all going to be most excited for here is the bullet point he has mentioning, with my creative partner, developed and sold an animated series based on Blizzard's Overwatch franchise. Now, this is about as official as it gets when you're talking about a high-ranking member of a company mentioning having done something. Nick Van Dyke is literally the co-president of Activision Blizzard, so if he includes information like this on his LinkedIn profile, you can bet that the information is almost certainly correct. Barring the fact that, oh, maybe he got hacked or something. No, that didn't happen. However, just because the information we have here is correct doesn't mean it means exactly what we think it does. Now, we don't have a lot of information based on just this one sentence talking about having developed and sold an animated series based on the Overwatch franchise. In fact, unlike the other things he's worked on in the past, he doesn't actually mention with this one that it was sold to Netflix. The other things he worked on, including the Skylanders Academy and the Diablo anime, which is going to be coming, both of those he specifically mentions having been sold to Netflix. But he doesn't say that for the one regarding Overwatch. Now, maybe the Overwatch one is just a bit earlier in development, and they aren't really going to be announcing the details of who it was sold to just yet. And overall, I think it's most likely to be Netflix, given, again, who he's been working with in the past. But we don't know that for sure. It could be some other streaming platform. It could be a more conventional network, I suppose, or maybe some sort of YouTube series. I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of possibilities, to be honest. Netflix is definitely the most likely, but just keep in mind that we don't have any official information saying what platform this series is going to end up being on. On top of that, we don't know anything about the series itself. I think what most people would want from an Overwatch animated series is some sort of linear narrative outlining the events of, Overwatch after Recall. After Winston brings all the agents back together, they team up, they fight Talon, yay, good guys win and save the day. But that isn't necessarily what we're going to end up getting. For all we know, this could just be something that ends up covering, like, episodic events of the Omnic Crisis. It could be some sort of anthology where each one is basically a glorified animated short that takes maybe more than just like the usual 6 to 10 minutes to tell a short story about Genji or Mei or whoever. And this time we end up getting like an entire half-hour episode where it outlines, maybe Genji's full story, where it's like he was part of Blackwatch and then he left and met up with Zenyatta and then eventually went out on his own. Things like that. Basically just more fleshed out versions of the animated shorts we already have. Or this could be an entirely different spin-off sort of series, where it takes place within the Overwatch universe, and we might get like cameos from characters like Tracer, Winston, Soldier 76, but the main characters of the animated series are going to be completely different characters that don't currently exist in the game. Maybe they would eventually end up becoming heroes of their own, but it really all comes down to just how much control Blizzard wants to retain on, telling the story themselves, especially with Overwatch 2 having such an intensive story aspect with the new PvE mission. I could see Blizzard maybe not wanting to relinquish all the major story stuff to some sort of side animated series project, so it is really up in the air as for what this is gonna exactly mean and what it'll end up being. As a side note, I just thought of, Jeff Kaplan did mention that Zenyatta would be getting new story, and that was more than half a year ago at this point. Perhaps he was alluding to this new animated series? I don't know, I guess we'll have to wait and see. And one final thing I want to mention information regarding this is, despite it being basically confirmed that this animated series is something in development that has already been sold, it doesn't guarantee that we're going to see it anytime soon or at all. Shows fall apart all the time after they've already begun development. Something could happen internally where they decide the show isn't going to work or something falls apart. There's a very real possibility that this will never end up seeing the light of day. Now, hopefully that isn't the case. I would very much like to see this animated series, whatever it ends up being about, but just keep in mind that having this information here and knowing that this is something which is at least being developed internally doesn't guarantee we're going to get to end up seeing it. As sad as that is, as disappointing, just keep that in mind. Now, that being said, I would love to hear what you think about this upcoming Overwatch animated series, so be sure to leave your thoughts in the comments down below. Are you excited for this thing coming to Netflix or some other platform? What sort of stories or narratives are you interested in seeing get developed in this animated series? As always, be sure to leave a like if you enjoyed this video and share it with your friends if you really liked it. Subscribe, hit up the bell, follow me on Twitter, and join my Discord server to never miss any of my future Overwatch content. This is Master Ian Gamer signing off, and until next time, have a great day.